Welcome to another episode of Faith in the Field. I'm glad you're with us today. You're going to have a good time today during this episode. I've got two friends that have been my friends for, I don't know, a long time, over 20 years, the better part, and even longer. But you're going to laugh. You're going to have a good time. You're going to hear some fishing stories, some hunting stories. And one of the things I'm excited about is you're going to get to meet one of my characters in my life, two of my characters, but one really my character in my life. You can't be around this guy without the joy of the Lord filling you. And both of them really, they're great men and great storytellers, and we've got some stories for you. So welcome to Faith in the Field. I want to welcome Anthony to Faith in the Field and Wesley Rojo Sullivan. Thank y'all for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you, Pastor.
Yes,
thank
absolutely.
I have been so excited. I guess we planned this episode, I don't know, a few days ago, and I just been giddy, man, just all day waiting on y'all to get here. So have y'all had a good day? Everything been good?
Been fantastic.
Yes, absolutely.
Same thing, yeah, and I knew we were going to be ready to film this episode. I was so excited that the three of us was going to get together and share some hunting and fishing stories and be able to share the Lord with people that's listening in today. That's fantastic.
Yeah, man. I enjoy the podcast and everything that the Lord has designed for me to be able to do to reach people and stuff like that. And so, man, we just gonna get into it. Rojo, it's hard for me to look at you and you're the same way, and keep a straight face. I know we're going to have both of them on the podcast more and more, so you guys will be able to get to learn these different characters that I have in my life, and you will probably step up your praying for me as you get to meet them and know them more and more. But Wesley, you got on a hunt lease with me in Kentucky 2 years ago, and I want you to tell the story about that doe that you killed. We call it the mystery doe because you shot her. What was you hunting with? Muzzleloader?
Muzzleloader, yeah.
Muzzleloader, and did not even have a wound, no bullet found in that thing. What's that all about?
Did the deer die?
Yeah, it died.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Listen, they called me. They called me. Wesley's. There's not a hole in this deer. Tell us about that.
Well, I was out there, like I said, went up muzzleloader, and I'd already killed me a nice buck that early season, and sitting there waiting on a deer to come up, sitting in hunting a ladder stand, and lo and behold, here come three running in on me, and there was a nice little buck and two does, and there was a mud hole right in front of the ladder stand. And so that doe just went and stuck her head down to that mud hole, and about the time she did, I eased the gun up, and it's probably about, I don't know, maybe 5 yards in front of the stand. So here I am easing it up, and about the time I pulled the trigger, the daggone thing misfired, and the bullet, I guess, let's back it up. Whenever I pulled the trigger, there was a puff of smoke that went out and looked like it hit that doe. And when it did, there was a squealing sound come out of that gun. And I was like, "What just happened, man? I can't figure this one." So she run off. They all run off, and I'm sitting there, and then it was probably 2 hours later. Isaac and Brady turned around and said, "Well, hey, we heading out." I said, "Well, hey, how about coming down here and let's just go see if we can see this deer, see if this deer's down here dead, because I didn't know what happened."
Right.
I said, all I seen was a big puff of smoke, and we go down there. It's
Smoke
probably about 20 yards away, 25 yards away, and we jump a couple deer. I mean, there was actually deer bedded down with this dead deer. So we get down there, and we're looking at that deer, and I'm like, where's the bullet hole at in it? And Isaac grabbed a hold of it, flipped it over, and he said, well, there ain't one.
So y'all had no blood trail or anything?
There was no blood trail, no nothing. I just seen the direction the deer run, and that's the way we went. And like I said, whenever we got down there to it, we flipped it over, and we were laughing. I mean, it was hilarious.
Now, how far away was the deer from where you shot it to where you found it?
Probably about 25 yards.
So you could see the deer, almost, basically, yeah.
So just over a little knoll it died, you couldn't tell.
It just went right on off down in the pine thicket and bedded down there. And like I said, once I got down there, when we seen it, once we started heading that away, but the crazy thing about it is that deer, like I said, it had, the bullet had to hit it and ricocheted off of it. I'm thinking. So whatever it takes to get them on the ground is the main thing, right?
So I'm back at camp, and because when we are all at camp, I don't know why I do this, because I don't get any time to hunt, because I'm always taking y'all to stands or somebody, and I gut the deer, process the deer for them, all that, quarter them up, and all this kind of stuff. I'm at camp. Wesley calls me, and he's laughing. He tells me the story. He said, I don't know how it died. There's not a hole in this deer. And I just start laughing. I said, man, bring me the daggum deer.
Right. Yeah.
And I was gutting the deer, field dressing the deer, had it hung up, and I get in there, and you could see there was a hole in the lung of the deer. But it was not like it wasn't like I had never seen nothing like it.
Bullet hole.
Right. I had never seen anything like it. It was like a hole. I could tell where it hit the deer. But we couldn't find a hole in the hide of the deer.
Right, yeah.
And there was no exit hole. I don't know. It's just the spirit left that deer.
Not one drop of blood nowhere.
I think being that close, it scared that old deer to death.
It scared it. That's what we come up with.
Yeah.
But you know what, Anthony? Hey, nobody, that wouldn't happen to anybody.
No.
But Rojo.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, if it'd been any further than 5 yards, I might not have killed it.
It come right up to that mud hole, didn't it?
Oh, my goodness.
It come right up to the mud hole and said, shoot me.
Yeah.
That poor broadside.
Yeah.
Now, you guys do a lot of fishing together. I've heard that the favorite, Wesley's favorite people on the lake are those that ride Sea-Doos and jet skis.
Oh, he loves them. He does.
What happened? You were telling me y'all were down South Georgia.
Well,
or something.
I mean, I've known, like you were saying earlier, we've known each other for 20 plus years, and and we've hunted and fished together off and on all those years, and you learn a lot about each other when you're in the truck cab together, or if you're out and you stay somewhere together. In close quarters, you learn a lot of stuff about each other. And so I thought I knew almost everything about Wesley. We've traveled and stayed in places together and fished and hunted together for many years. And we've ripped up and down the lakes, I don't know how many times. And I'd never noticed this. Maybe one had never passed by on all those fishing trips. But so we're up in the Isles of Palm, about a month or so ago? Yeah, about a month or so ago. And so I was excited to get up there and do some fishing. And so we was in, what was it, downtown, like Charleston area?
Yeah.
All right, well, be back up just a little bit, too. You have to play the tide. That's important, coming in and coming out. And
so are y'all fishing blue water, brackish water?
Brackish water. Okay. Yeah, we're fishing brackish water right there in the intercoastal. So we're on our way back in. It was our first day up there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, first day in. And I mean, it was a beautiful day. You couldn't ask for better weather. You know, the first day we was up there, I mean,
just couldn't get a fish to bite from
no. But
mean,
you know, we wasn't working, and you know, we was out there enjoying, you know, God's creation.
Right
And,
before the storm hit.
yeah. Especially
this
being
year.
in January, 70 degrees up there in shorts and t-shirts. Anyway, we're on our way back in, and this jet ski passes. Well, I didn't think nothing about it, but Wesley did. And so next thing I know, he just dumps the motor.
What are y'all on?
We're in Wesley's boat. It's got a 200 Merc on it. And
Well, it's like a, 32 foot or
what is
No,
it?
it's 20 foot.
Yeah.
20 foot?
Yeah. And so we're on, like I said, on our way back in, and we're just, you know, clicking right along, normal speed. But this couple on this jet ski passes, and then I just noticed Wesley lock in on that jet ski.
It's time to go.
And then he just dumps that motor. And so I'm just sitting there, you know, in the passenger seat watching what's unfolding and really not sure what's really going on, except for why is Wesley chasing down that jet ski for? Did they do something to us?
No, he was going in.
Right, he was going in
Yeah,
the same
I just
place
seen
we
he was
were.
heading. Yeah, right.
So
Right.
why are you chasing him?
Well,
I just got behind him thinking he knew where he was going.
that's what
Oh,
he,
you wasn't mad at him?
No, I wasn't mad at him. I
Well,
was just chasing him.
so,
You know,
right.
just kind of just getting behind him, right?
Yeah. And,
Well, there again, we were low tide.
well, we didn't know
Yeah,
that. We didn't know that until he's fixated on that jet ski that he's chasing, and then all of a sudden, it was whoop. The boat just bows up, and I thought, "Oh my goodness!" In which I knew immediately what had happened.
Yeah, we bottomed out.
Wesley did too. And I look back, he's trimming the motor up. He's back there just churning mud, and so I jumped.
Praying.
Oh yeah.
We were praying right
Well,
then.
yeah,
Lord
because-
Jesus, get us off this sandbar.
Yeah, because again, if you're out there playing the tide, it could be another hours before the tide comes back in and gets enough water under the boat to get you off that sandbar. So I hurry and run up front to get on the bow of the boat, thinking,
Yeah, that's what I told him.
yeah.
Get up front.
Yeah. He said, get up front. You know, like 200 pounds was going to make a difference on the bow of that boat, and it might have. I don't know. So I get up on the bow. So I run up on the bow of the boat, and he still got that motor back there churning mud. And I said, just quit it. You stop it. Cut it.
You gonna blow it up?
Well, no, we can't stop now.
Well, I looked down and I said, man, we ain't got but inches of water under the boat, you know, hardly anything. And so anyway, we finally got off the sandbar and go on in. Now, the funny thing is, too, the same jet ski he was trying to run down, this couple, they're putting in, where they're loading up the same boat ramp that we're putting in and out of and loading up. And so we just get out and I go back to trailer in, they load up. But the next day, we're coming back in, and this is a high traffic area, and we had another jet ski pass, and this is when I made my determination. Wesley really dislikes jet skis. This other jet ski,
I love them.
this other jet ski comes passing by, and then he just hammers it. And then again, I'm in the passenger seat looking at Wesley, and he ain't looking at nothing but that jet ski in front of him. I mean, he is fixated on that jet ski. He's going to catch it. And now there's boats coming by. I mean, these are big yachts coming by, and I'm trying to tell him to slow his thing down because they're leaving 6 and 8 foot wakes that'll just nearly dump you out of the boat. But he ain't hearing it. He's just fixated on catching
We're about
that.
to sink the boat.
Yeah.
We were bucking the tide. At
Oh, yeah. That was some of the roughest water I'd ever
the
been in
tide
my
was on
life.
the way out, and the wind was on the way in, and we were in trouble.
Oh, my goodness.
Soaking, stinking wet. It
Oh.
was like, what in the world is going on here?
Oh, it was the roughest water I'd ever been in my life. Yeah.
But thank God for the
Yeah.
GPS.
Oh, yeah. But it's all right. I mean, you can say you dislike jet skis.
What's wrong with jet skis, Wes?
I like jet skis. I ain't
Well,
got
you
nothing
didn't
against
out
jet
there,
skis. No, I was just chasing them,
Just chasing.
thinking they knew the direction to
Well, that
go.
second jet ski, we knew the direction we was going. That second jet ski, I think you just wanted to catch it for some reason. I don't know
I
what
don't
it
know.
was.
what it was.
But it was funny.
You know, when you get my age,
it's funny seeing
when you get my age, you just get out there and have a good time.
Oh yeah, you was having a good time, no doubt. We was having a good time. But yeah, that was funny because to me, I thought I knew a lot about you, but it was humorous to me that day to go, huh? I didn't realize Wesley disliked jet skis.
Yeah.
He called me and said, "Man, I found out something about Wesley." I said, "Really?" Not surprising. I said, "What?" He said, "He hates jet skis." Well, it didn't surprise me because, you got a lot of anglers, which I consider you both anglers, but you got a lot of anglers that, they don't really like jet skis because you be out there fishing and they just, come and buzz by you and stuff like that. And so
I was in unfamiliar water.
So I thought when you said, well, maybe it's because, fishermen don't, I thought, well, that probably makes sense. Maybe Wesley had a bad experience out there one day with a jet ski or two. And
nah, that wasn't it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was just out there just playing around, chasing.
Well, it was funny, like I said.
Thinking they knew where they were going, but like I said, you can't run a boat where a jet ski can go.
Well, I know. That's why I kept
that right quick.
Yeah. Well, that's why I kept thinking. That's
why the second day I didn't bother going where he was going.
Oh, yeah.
How old are you?
62.
62. And you just had an accident not too long ago. What was you doing? Washing your roof or something?
Yeah, that was back in 2024.
Yeah, so about a year and a half ago.
Yeah, March 11th, 2024.
Fell off the roof?
Got up on the roof, pressure washing, going to paint it. And that new metal with that bleach on it become like ice.
Fell off.
I knew it, put both feet on one side of that roof and feet come out from under me. Slid 14 feet down like on a slippy slide and then dropped 12 feet in the yard.
What happened?
Broke my pelvis in 2 places.
Daggum. Yeah. And then this year, so that was, when was that?
That was in 24.
What
March
month?
11th.
March 11th. And then that deer season, you hunting a climbing stand.
Yeah.
62 broke pelvis. Still hunting a climber.
Hey, but here's the deal. It was the worst I'd ever felt in my life. I mean, I've been through some bad car wrecks and whatnot and never had the pain like I had in that particular ordeal right there. But we'd already made reservations for the end of June to go to Yellowstone with my son-in-law and my daughter and grandbabies and everybody. So the wife looks at me. She says, "What are you gonna do?" I said, "We going, baby."
Right. Yeah.
Same thing with David. I done paid the dues for the hunting camp. He said, "What you gonna do?" I said, "I'm gonna be up there hunting."
Yeah, but I got shooting houses. We got tripods with boat seats in them.
But needless to say, come June, I was able to hook my camper up, pull that sucker 1,700 miles to Yellowstone, and enjoyed we had like 14 days at Yellowstone. God is so good, I'm telling you. When you really think about it, I mean, there again, a month into that. Now, there again, it was so much pain, I just indescribable. But a month into that, I woke up on Sunday morning, getting ready to go to church, and I got a bad pain in my side, and I'm like, "Oh my God, what's going on, Lord Jesus?" And then, so I told the wife, I said, "Look, take me to the hospital. I got to go to the hospital." So I go down there and had blood in my urine, and then they said, "Go on up here to to Gainesville to the hospital, and get a CT and see what's going on." Well, it had a kidney stone. That was working its way down the tube in there. I guess I knocked one loose, falling off the roof.
Have you ever fell out of it? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so turn around there and thank God for the oxys and the daggone that's some nausea pills that they gave me, for the pelvis. Because when that pain would hit, I'd pop an oxy and get one of them nausea pills.
Yeah,
and then just hollering there and moan and groan, you know. I mean, the wife, I don't know what she was thinking. Yeah, because I mean, listen, everybody talks about how much pain a kidney stone is. And I don't doubt, no doubt there was some serious pain, but nothing compared to that pelvis.
Really?
That was like the most excruciating.
Wow.
Because you can't walk. See, that was the number one thing.
Right.
But yeah, after that, got over the kidney stone, finally got to where I could walk some. I called the guy up there at the jail ministry, and I said, hey, Chuck, I said, you don't mind if I bring this walker up here? Go in there and minister tonight, do you? He said, "Oh no, I'll have to ask about that."
Well,
said,
right, going into a jail with a walker,
yeah,
I guess they could consider that maybe a weapon. I guess. Is that what?
So basically, yeah. I took that walker and went in there and ministered up there to them guys. And like I said, God's so good because through that whole ordeal, people was watching me and they were saying, "Man, I can't believe you're getting around as good as you are." And I said, man, to him be the glory, because, he gives us strength, whenever we're down to get through stuff. And I'm telling you, at that point in my life, I thought, I was, there again for 2 months, I couldn't do nothing, just barely. Well, here's the deal. Bert, this good buddy of mine, he took me up to the orthopedic to get x-rayed after the accident. And it didn't move. The pelvis didn't move, where the break was. So basically there was no surgery that could be done. It just had to heal on its own. And I never will forget, Bert was sitting there and he looked at that lady and he said, well, what can he do? She said, he can do anything he wants to as long as it don't hurt.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
so click in my mind. Right, I was thinking right then, okay, so we got it going on now. So by the time I got home, the accident happened on a Monday. By the time I got home, and this was on Thursday. By the time I got home, there was a walker sitting there. And I couldn't walk but about 10 feet, but I walked 10 feet that first day.
Yeah, well, that's good.
And then the next day I walked 15 feet, and then the next day 20 feet, and then the next day further. And every day I made a point. And then by the time I got back to the orthopedic, because they wanted me to come back to get re-x-rayed to make sure everything was healing properly, by the time I got back, when I walked in there with the walker, that lady looked at me and she says, man, she says, I wish everybody was like you. I said, what do you mean? She said, the majority of people that have an accident like you had, she said, they're not in as good a shape as you are. And I was just bound and determined.
Yeah.
I was going to get back in that boat. You remember me and you going fishing? I took you fishing, and it was all I could do to crawl over into that boat.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what my wife said. She said, one thing I knew about him, he wasn't going to stay off that motorcycle and he wasn't going to stay out of that boat.
Or out of that tree. Right. He was in a climber a couple of months later.
Out of that tree, jacked up there, 35 feet up a tree.
And I'm telling you, when he says 35 feet.
Oh, I know.
He hunts 35 feet.
Yeah.
Up in the air. Have you ever fallen out of a deer stand?
No. By
Never.
the grace of God.
Yeah.
Praise God. You got a story you was telling me earlier about y'all two was y'all on a hunting trip or a fishing trip? Y'all was talking about.
Oh, talking about when Wesley had called me. He was deer hunting a spot in Dahlonega, that was on the National Forest, and you had found the spot by painting somebody's house up there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, where the National Forest. Yeah. And so he called me one day, and I so happened to be at home. He said, hey, what you doing? I said, hey, I'm fixing to run an errand. And he said, well, hey, listen, I just shot this old buck over here, and I need some help dragging it out. And I said, is it a good one? Yeah, it's a good one. And I said, well, where you at? Well, he goes, well, listen, I ain't going to tell you. I mean, known him for years, I
ain't going to tell this joker where my deer hole's at.
Yeah. What you call that?
The glory hole.
Yeah, that's what he said. Hey, I'm over here at old glory hole. I didn't, and
straight off.
Yeah.
A bluff.
Yeah. And, well, I don't think that's exactly how you described it to me until, to get me to come help you. And
no, you ain't gonna tell you.
So I said, well, yeah, I'll come over and help you. And then he gave me directions, since I was coming to help him. And I get over there, and he's already at the top of the hill there waiting on me. And it's right on the paved road, and then right there's, somebody's house, and there's a national forest. And right at the edge of that road, I just look off down in there, and I go, my goodness. I mean, it had to be 150, 200 feet off down in there. I mean, I know.
Oh, it's further than that.
Well, see there. And so I'm looking at that.
100 yards off down in there.
Yeah, yeah. And I said, well, where's it at? He goes, it's just laying right down yonder, and, it's like, right down yonder. Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
That could be another 2 miles once we get to it down yonder. And so finally we get off down in there and we go right to it. And, of course, the whole time I'm thinking, man, this is not going to be good to get this deer out of here. And I think you described it a little bit better to me over the telephone than it was in person. So I get down there to it. And now that deer's laying on one side, and you can see obviously one side of the horns, and it's a good-sized bodied buck. And I look, and, as we're walking to it, and I could see the horns sticking up, past its ears. Oh, yeah, that's a good deer, And so we get down there to it, and we roll it over, kind of like when he rolled over that doe, and there wasn't no bullet hole in it. So we roll that old buck over, and that thing had like 2 fingers sticking up on the other end.
Paddle on one side.
Yeah, just old fork. Yeah, just old fork. And I don't know if a deer got in a fight, broke off, or
car wreck.
Car wreck. It was probably you from a previous hunt.
The teeth on that one side was actually messed up. Yeah. I mean, it was.
I was
in
thinking
bad
it might have been
shape.
you from a previous hunt made a bad shot.
That was a mercy killing there.
Yeah. And I don't think you had gutted it yet either.
No,
I'm sure he had.
And so listen, that's why I bring this point up. And he didn't want to gut it, and I said, we're gutting this deer. And because he said, oh, the coyotes. And I said, we're gutting this deer, to take off about 30 pounds out of this thing. We're fixing to drag this thing upside of a mountain. And so I gut it right there. And I just remember me and you heaving, and it was so steep. I remember
he gut shot it?
No, I heart shot that joker.
Yeah,
he
didn't
run far.
No, he didn't run far from you staying, but that still didn't make any difference as far as that big old side of that mountain was fixing to drag it up. But I remember me and you, we was laying literally on the ground. I'd have one side of the horns, he had the other side of the horns. It was so steep, we was grabbing whatever tree or little sapling we could get a hold of for leverage, and one arm that thing up, drop it, go up and do the same thing. And so we finally got that thing out of there, and I said, listen, you ain't got no worry about me ever coming over here and deer hunting this.
I'm not going to steal this secret
Yeah, and I
spot.
said, by the way, don't ever call me again to come back over here.
I got another
quarter
story.
that thing up, or something, get it out.
I got another story about the glory hole, same place. Listen, my son-in-law wanted to go hunting with me, right?
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I got a good spot up here for you. He says, well, all I got is this orange jumpsuit. I said, well, that'll be good. I said, come on. Now, Michael, he's about, Michael Greenway, he's about 6 foot.
Look like a pumpkin
3.
out there. Yeah.
I mean, big man.
Yeah.
So as we're walking in that morning, I said, here, you go ahead and get right here and jack up this tree right here. I said, I'm going to ease on back down on that finger where I was hunting at.
Right.
So I jack up that tree, daylight come up, and I was sitting there looking up through there, man, and there he's there. I mean, he is glowing up in that tree. I mean, seriously. Right. And I had some of this buck spray, in the little bottle. I forget what the name of that stuff
like
was.
A buck bomb?
No, it was just a pump spray,
okay.
and I'd pull that thing out of my pocket and I'd hit a couple of licks, because the wind was blowing up the holler up through there.
No, was you trying to blow it so he could see it?
Blowing it up through there, yeah.
So he'd see a deer? Or?
Well, yeah, just kind of getting some sin in there. So I'm sitting there
yeah.
hitting this thing a lick or two, and I'm sitting there about that time. Here come a buck running off that ridge.
Yeah.
He come flying down through there, and he got about 15 yards from me, and he bowed up and stopped. And he was behind the tree, so I got the gun out, and I'm sitting here with the gun on him, and when he stepped out from behind the tree, he was looking up there at Michael. up there in that stand, so I just, pow! And he just fell over right there. And Man, it's so funny.
He saw that
He was
6
looking
foot
at
pump.
Michael up in that tree, that big old orange jumpsuit
I
on.
bet that jumpsuit blinded him. That's what it was. Looking like his son.
But that
out
was
there,
that was another little deer that we shot out of there. I mean, there was
little
several
deer.
bucks killed over in that part of it. It's what was that area right over in there called?
The
It's
Glory.
north on 9 over there, going north on 9.
right
Back
past
up.
the reservoir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I forget what is that. Will come to us, but
Well, you don't want to tell anybody still, do
Oh
you? Still
yeah,
hunting
yeah.
over
I hadn't hunted over in years.
I forgot about that place as soon as I shut my truck door and drove away.
That was a good hunt. Though.
You gotta want some deer meat really bad to go over there and hunt this place.
I actually gave that deer away. That one she would come there and help me drag.
Really?
Yeah. Sue and
You didn't even offer me a
Jewel
tenderloin.
Hood was wanting some deer meat.
Yeah.
So I took it up there to Southers and dropped it off with them. And I told them, I said, hey, I said, just go up there and when they get it ready and pick it up. And she said, boy, there sure was a lot of meat on that deer, wasn't there?
all that work you did,
I
and you
know
gave
it.
the meat away.
Yeah, didn't even offer me a back strap, nothing.
no jerky.
Nothing, yeah.
That's a labor of love right there.
That's right. But that's good. That's what makes friendships, I think, last probably as long as ours has. Is being one available and not being where would go help help one out. That's what makes it special. About
It is, man. It's it's just the stories. We often talk a lot on the podcast. We end up saying something along the lines of, the memories and the stories that the outdoors brings. That's why, having these conversations, people are interested in, because, a lot of people just can relate, to pulling the deer up the side of a ridge, because you're not thinking about when that buck come running, you're not thinking,
right.
I got to get this thing out of here, But the old saying is, the fun stops after you pull the trigger.
Right.
That's right.
That's when
Because that's when the work begins.
Yeah.
But I never forget the first time you bought me first bait caster I ever had years ago, and you and another guy called me up, said we're gonna go striper fishing, and I get there and they had bought me a bait caster and a rod and everything, had the whole thing set up, and that was one of the funnest hunts. I'm on the front, he's up there with the trolling motor,
Right,
and I'm beside him.
Yeah.
And we're, it's early spring,
You didn't tell what color bomber I gave you.
I bet
pink bomber.
I was about to say, I bet I could guess.
Is a
I bet I
pink
could
bomber.
guess
David looked
what
at
it
that thing and he
was,
said,
yeah.
what in the world am I going to catch on that?
Oh man, they'll eat it.
I said,
Yeah.
man, that's a good color.
Yeah, they
So
will eat it.
we're fishing, and it's early spring. We're kind of just waiting for it to get dark,
Right.
because we fish them stripers at dark
Yeah.
with them bombers, and I'm up there standing beside Wesley, and he's running that trolling motor with his foot,
Yeah.
and he decides to go one way, and I go to cast another way and fall off into the water. You remember that? fell right off into the water.
We new bait caster.
Yeah, but I caught the boat, so I only below my waist got wet. I caught
Yeah,
myself,
it's still cold too.
and it was cold.
Oh.
And but that night I caught the biggest striper I had ever caught. It was a good one, 29 inches long, 27 pounds.
Yeah.
Big.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yep. And
That was back when you could catch some big fish out of Lanier.
Right. Yeah.
We had a ball back in the early 90s. Man, there were some big fish caught.
but it's something about being with Wesley. You're gonna have stories like that.
Oh yeah.
You can jump in the truck and go to McDonald's and back, and
Something's
something's gonna happen.
Something gonna happen. Yeah. Something gonna happen.
That's what it's all about,
It
baby.
is, yeah. My goodness.
Ain't
Well,
nothing.
it's like it was like, I was just reminded, like when we were just pull in, when we just went on our recent fishing trip. Now this would have been a bad deal. We had just drove all them miles. We left, on Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, that was last year.
No, we just went up there to Isles of Palm and fished.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, we left, it was about Thursday.
I thought you was going to talk about that.
Oh, that was
about
good.
About the brake that locked up and smoke was boiling.
Oh, no. That's
we back there with a bottle of water trying to cool it off.
Yeah. Well, no, I was thinking about, we had just drove all, originally we was going to leave like early Friday morning. And I said, well, how about let's leave Thursday afternoon? That'd give us an extra day of fishing.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So, I mean, I knew that wasn't, much of a deal breaker there. Well, Wesley's like,
right.
Yeah, that's good. And extra day of fishing. So anyway, we drove all those miles. We had never been to where we were staying. Had some folks that Wesley knows. I know them. Some, and had provided us with a nice place to stay. And so we come pulling in, obviously boat and tow, and now as we're driving to where we're almost at, we kept going, boy, this is high rent district. This is right there on the ocean, a lot of big, nice.
Isle of Palm, yeah, outside of Charleston.
Yeah. And so we pull up to where we're going to stay. It's a gated community. And now you were told that we could have a boat there.
Right.
And so we're met with a security guard, and he looked like he had never seen
Barney Five.
Yeah, he looked like he had never seen a boat before, because he just kept looking at that boat and looking at us and looking at that boat and then looking back at us and like
I don't know if I need to let them in this
right,
community or not.
Us. Yeah, and now keep in mind this is like midnight too, when we were just rolling in. So finally he agrees to let us on in. We had to back it in or something about couldn't be seen. So we're driving through. Now this is on a weekday. Now it's probably getting close to 12:30 or whatever. But I just remember we running up and down the road almost trying to find the address where we were going to stay because the way they were back off the road on the garage.
Couldn't find that.
So I'm out walking through people's property trying to find the address, and we finally found it, got backed in, and finally got to sleep, went up next morning, went fishing.
Oh, Barney Five, though, he was a trip.
Yeah.
He looked at me and he said, well, you can't bring that in here. I said, well, she said I could. He said, well, you can't have no boat sitting out in no yard around here. Yeah. He said, you got to put it under the carport. I said, well, I'll make sure I get it under the carport.
We didn't have much room, but we got it. Got in there.
We got in there.
Yeah, they went hardly about a quarter an inch to spare.
I mean, the door jammed seriously on
goodness.
both sides of the garage. It was an open garage. He said, you may have to have a cover on it, too.
We didn't have that.
In the garage?
Yeah. And I told the lady, I said, hey, he said we couldn't have no boat. She said, well, my God, there's been boats all in the yards and all over that place over there. Don't worry about him.
Yeah. I just thought that would be like a good, a bad deal had we pulled up and we couldn't have got that boat in there at midnight. We just drove all those miles and we'd have had to figure out what we was going to do.
And then when we get to the boat ramp the next morning.
Yeah. Yeah, it was $60 to launch a boat. So
I'm like,
Wesley said, back that trailer back down here. And I said, all right.
He's up there messing around. I'm like, what the crap's going on up there?
Yeah. And so finally I said, man, it's going to be $60. He said, well, back that thing back down.
I called her up and I said, hey, they're wanting $60 to launch a boat here. She said, well, you can just take it over there to my daughter's house. And she's got a boat ramp in her subdivision. I said, well, how far away is it? She said, it ain't about 20 minutes. I said, well, that'd be great. So we loaded it back up.
Oh, yeah, it was nice.
Get over there, beautiful.
Beautiful
off
place.
Off the beaten path, had a daggone wash down area, had a fish station, had a flat screen TV with a daggone big old dog.
Yeah, it was nice.
Man, it's sweet.
Y'all thought y'all arrived, didn't you?
We did, I thought. I mean, I kept saying, man, this is nice. Especially to have a private boat ramp and had it set up like it did with the pavilion with a TV, grill, wash station, to wash your boat off, fish cleaning station.
How much that cost?
Not a nickel.
Free.
And I told her, I said, can we just pull this boat over here to her house and just leave it? And then that way we ain't got to tow it all the way back in the morning. She said, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So she got in touch with her daughter, and we backed it right up in her driveway right there and left it.
Waved at Barney Five when you come through the next day.
With no boat in tow.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever saw him again. I don't remember him.
That is funny.
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
Oh, and it
man.
was
You'd have
so
to been
foggy. Oh man, remember Carl? We got close. I mean, it was so foggy you couldn't see. You couldn't see 200.
That was that night when we got there.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
It was so foggy you couldn't see 200 feet. And Wesley running about 90.
Ain't nothing slow about him except for his speech.
Had 8 new tires on that.
That's what he kept saying.
4 on the truck,
I got
4 on
8
the
new
trailer.
tires. I got 8 new tires. Yeah, I'd be like,
Y'all
well,
boys are crazy.
I'd be like, well, you got this thing hammered down. We got to go. I got 8 new tires.
That's crazy.
No, we had a good time though.
Oh yeah.
Can't wait to get back out there.
Saw
Yes,
the-
you got some work that needs
Saw
done.
the craziest boat we'd never seen before. That old military boat that come out of the fog that morning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that thing was crazy.
Y'all think they found you?
Well, no, we really didn't. No, it was just it was so foggy too that morning. As we were going to go fish out on some reef markers, so we was going to have to get out in the
About
ocean.
10 miles out.
Yeah, in the ocean, and so it was pretty foggy. We finally made it out to the reef marker, and there's already some other boats sitting out there on it, and these boats still going further out, and so this center console comes out of the fog, hammered down, and he's running on further out offshore, and it was probably, I don't know, it wasn't far.
Right behind him, pretty much, yeah.
Here comes this military boat.
Like I was chasing that jet ski.
Yeah, that had never seen in my life. This thing was wild looking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
wild.
I've never seen a boat like that.
But you know what? I did end up finally finding out what that boat was. It's a military boat. It was camouflage. It almost looked like a submarine, but it's running on top of the water with a jet engine. The thing was probably, how long would you say it was?
Looked like it was at least 40 foot. 50.
Easy, if anything. But anyway, I ended up looking.
It was straight out of sci-fi.
Yeah. Well, it's I forget exactly, but it's a stealth boat by the military, but it is a missile defense boat.
Really?
Yes.
Well, we Googled it, remember?
Right,
It wouldn't give us no.
anything.
It wouldn't give us no information.
No, I
on it.
actually had another guy show
So
me.
AI didn't have a clue.
Hey, I didn't help you.
Well, I showed the video to another guy, and he took a picture of it at work. And as soon as he took a picture of it, man, he done something and loaded it up, and boom, we was
There
able,
it is.
There it is. It told us exactly what it was.
We might not have internet out there.
Yeah, but I thought, what in the world's that thing doing out here?
Now you're real involved. You mentioned prison ministry. You real involved in jails and prisons and stuff like that.
Yeah, for the last 20 plus years. Like I said, I started years ago with Brother T. I don't know if he was a guy up there in the Laniga that was. He was kind of weird, but man, he loved Jesus. Me and old George.
There's a
Ward,
lot of us out there
me
like
and old
that.
George Ward went in there to the Laniga up there to the daggone jail up there with him one night. He had a train whistle when he walked in the door. Let him know he was on the way.
He was letting the inmates know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
With the train whistle. Yeah.
So that was my first experience with jail ministry, and then after that, I got involved in it in Forsyth County. We went into Forsyth County for over, I don't know, it's probably close to 15, 18 years, and then done some, had some good meetings in there back when there was the old jail. And then once they transferred and they got the new jail going, we were actually, we would get 30 guys come out there, and we'd all go out in the day area. I guess you could call it. It's kind of like an out of the pod, and just line them up around the wall out there. And man, we'd sit there and just preach. It was crazy.
Yeah.
God would just show up in a mighty way in that place, and then that kind of they got so many people coming in there that they kind of just squeezed the gospel out of it, So I started going to Dawson County. I've been going to Dawson County now for about the last 5-6 years. And it's only 0.7 of a mile from my house, which is sweet.
Yeah. I tell you, Anthony, I took him to, Wesley, you've been on several mission trips with me, different places in the world.
My first one, we went to, what was it? Belize, not Belize, but
El Salvador?
Salvador.
Yep.
Built that church. Remember?
Yep. I just went out there and
That was so funny.
yeah, I just went back out there, and but we were in. I took him to Nigeria one year, and we're preaching to. There was 30,000 people there.
Wow.
And
Every bit.
he thought it was a good idea to buy him one of them African suits.
Y'all, you got a picture of it?
No, I don't
Probably
know.
does, yeah.
Bro, listen,
I'd love to see that right now.
I'd give my truck to have a video of what happened.
Yeah.
So I would, each night, I'd let, somebody else preach.
Right, yeah.
I'd preach one night, and then a couple of nights I'd let, one of the guys preach or whatever. Yeah. And he thought it was a good idea on his preaching night to wear one of them African suits.
You just
now,
embracing the culture.
Yeah, them African suits.
Yeah.
Now the pants are kind of like sweatpants, kind of. They got a drawstring on them.
Okay, yeah.
So pull them up and drawstring them.
You pull them up and you drawstring them. Within the top,
like a dress.
it's like a dress. It comes down to your knees.
Okay.
Yeah. And
you know what I was looking like.
Man, I'm trying to get a visual right now.
So I'm on the
what color
stage.
was it?
Oh, it was pretty,
funky.
man. That dog, it wasn't cheap. They're expensive. So what I would do, any place I'd go, I'd buy their dress, something quality.
Yeah. So he's excited, boy.
Oh yeah.
He said, "I'm gonna preach. I'm
looking sharp.
Yeah, I'm gonna preach tonight. They gonna receive tonight because I'm gonna look like them."
Right. Exactly. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
two things about Wesley. No matter where I take him, and no matter what interpreter I get, there's always the interpreter, he'll say something, because he's got these hillbilly colloquialisms and sayings, but they don't have a clue what he's saying.
Right, not a clue. Yeah.
And it don't stop Wesley, because you teach people, make a statement, stop.
Right.
Yeah.
Make a statement, stop.
When you've got a translator.
When you have a translator,
right,
so
okay.
Wesley don't have a stop in him.
Oh yeah, I got to stop.
And so they're just trying to keep up with him, and then he'll say one of his hillbilly slang or something like that, and it never fails. They'll just kind of look around like, "What am I doing?" Yeah. Well, I'm sitting there, and we're on the stage, because in a lot of those countries, most of the countries that we go to, they're very honorable to the pastors and ministers and stuff like that. We don't see that in our American culture. But there's a lot of honor. And so we set up on the stage, and they have us, these glorified chairs, they're not just regular chairs. And well, everybody out in the field, 30,000 people, I mean, they're just standing or sitting on the ground and stuff like that. And so I'm sitting behind Wesley, and boy, Wesley gets to shucking the corn, son. He gets to going, and I'm laughing at Wesley, and I'm laughing at the interpreter, and I'm thinking in the back of my mind, I hope he's somehow getting the gospel out of this, because Wesley's doing a great.
Getting the gospel.
Yeah, I mean, Wesley's doing a great job. If he's preaching in the mountains, son, he's getting everybody born again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
But the translator is kind of having a tough time. Well, I noticed, boys, Wesley's preaching, son. He's just getting it. Yeah. I noticed he's holding the microphone in one hand, and with his off hand, I noticed he keeps reaching on his pants.
Yeah, my pants.
And so, you know me. You know me as his pastor, and
this ain't happening.
As his pastor and good leader and protector. Yeah. I'm gonna come and save him. You know.
Yeah.
No, I was rolling because he got to where he's holding this side. Well, I could see this side bunching up down at his leg. Right. I mean, almost. He better be glad that thing went all the way down to his knees.
I could feel it down there.
Oh,
I could feel it down
Oh,
You
bridges
feel
were
it.
falling.
Yeah, bridges.
Oh,
were
his
falling.
listen.
They
Let
were
me tell you
falling,
something.
Yeah.
And I'm rolling, and I'm thinking, what is he going to do?
Yeah, what am I going to do?
Before we
All
go
of a
do it.
What
sudden,
you gonna do?
all of a sudden, he just stops preaching, and
Hands
he
in
says,
Yeah.
"No, not yet." He stops preaching, and he says, "I love y'all's clothes, but it sure is hard to keep your pants up." And he hands the microphone to the interpreter.
That was your closing
No,
statement?
he reaches over and pulls his pants up. 30,000 people. He
Right.
reaches over, pulls his pants up,
Yeah.
tights his drawstring.
Back at it.
Thank you. Gets his microphone, and son just right back like he never missed a
Where I
beat.
messed up, I put them up over my gut. I should have tied them down at my waist.
You don't think you messed up by
I'm
buying
pulling them up. No,
Okay.
they were sweet.
them? Do you still have them?
I may have them. My wife might have done got them. I told her I was going to wear them to church one Sunday. She's like, "Oh no, you ain't."
Yeah, they're gone.
He
There you
said,
go.
he
yeah,
said,
they're gone. Yeah.
I love y'all's clothes.
Yeah, hold on
But
a
these
minute.
pants
keep
are
your
sure
britches up.
britches.
Hard to keep
Yeah,
your
They
britches
didn't
serious
have
up.
a
are-
clue what a
nah,
britches was.
interpreter just looking at it. I am listen.
I
No
can imagine.
coof about me. I'm laid over in the other guy's lap next to me, dying laughing. I mean, just dying
What it
laughing.
was too is that stage was springy, so as you're out there bouncing around on it, it's kind of like
What it was the stage was spread.
I was,
Had nothing to do
I
with
was
it.
rocking and rolling out there, baby. That was a big crowd, though. I think we might have been a little slack on 50,000. I think there might have been 100,000.
Oh, well, that's even better.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We
Man, they were people as far as I could see.
Oh yeah, as far as I know, we did one of our trips there. There was upwards of 80,000 people.
Wow.
And it's amazing because you can't get people in America to come to church on Sunday morning when the sun's out. You know what I'm saying? And be committed. We were there one night, and I'm talking about when it rains over there. It's not raindrops.
Yeah.
It's like hail balls, but it's rain.
Wow.
I mean, when it rains, it rains. And we watched those people. It was raining. Of course, all of our team, ladies and all, they're running for shelter. They're
Right.
up under
Yeah,
stuff and, all this. No. They holding babies, pulling babies. This ain't no joke. I was over there one year, and I saw a family of 6 on a motor scooter, on a moped. A family of 6.
I'm thinking, how'd they get everybody on there?
Bro, listen.
They
One
just
in the
stacked.
back.
You
on
had
there,
the
yeah.
guy. You had the husband right here. He had I guess his son on the handlebars with a kid in his lap. You had the mama with a baby strapped to her back,
My
and then a
goodness.
younger girl sitting behind her, turned the other way.
My goodness.
They coming to church,
Right, yeah.
and they didn't move when that rain hit. They did not move. They were there, bust in, hour and a half away, bust in, ready to hear the gospel.
Yeah.
And boy, you talking about we see miracles. You give the
Right.
salvation call. I got to preaching one night in one of our trips, and they had told us, which I've never been real good with rules anyway, but they had told us, it's a lot of Muslims and stuff, and we had, we could see them in the buildings right outside the field. You could see, the symbols and all this kind of stuff. You could hear them chanting, trying to come against us and all this mess. They said, from the time we got off the plane, time we left, you got people with military, assault rifles
Right.
with us
Wow.
in a lot of those countries. And they said, do not, whatever you do not get off this stage. Son, I got to preaching. I'll never forget it. I got to preaching
don't get
about,
down in the crowd.
no, sir.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
No. And they would keep the crowd would be about 25 yards because for the altar call,
Right.
they'd be about 25 yards. And I'm in Nigeria now. And I got to preaching about the first evangelist was a black man. Because he was African. The guy that carried Jesus' cross.
Oh, yeah.
Was an African man. And I related, carrying the cross to the gospel.
Right.
Remember, they picked him out of the crowd.
Yeah.
He said, carry his cross. And I got to preaching on that, son. The first man to carry the cross of Jesus was an African man. That man, they were shouting. Next thing I know, son, I just off the stage.
Yeah,
and I'm talking about the stage is 7 foot off the ground. Because you gotta think 80,000 people. You gotta have a stage big enough for them to see you. Right there.
Yeah.
I got to preaching. I just jumped right off the stage. And I went right for the crowd. I'm preaching, man.
Yeah.
And wireless microphone. And I look back, and 2 of our security guards from America were right behind me.
Yeah.
And they was like, preach, Pastor, preach, Pastor.
Yeah.
Man, I'd preach. Somebody'd come out of the crowd and hug me, and I'd hug them and keep on preaching, son. I mean, fire of God. I said, you all wanting to go to America, the land of the free, the home of the brave. I said, you got a mission field right here. Preach the gospel.
Yeah.
That place went crazy. Gave the altar call, and I don't know how many thousands of people.
Yeah, that'd be a sight.
And the miracles that'll happen because their faith. I mean, they don't have the luxury that we have to fall back on.
Yeah.
Their faith is, if God don't move, I don't eat. If God doesn't supply, we don't have food. And their dependence on the Lord. So you preach faith, and son, those people respond.
I tell you what was crazy though, is we were having the pastoral conferences at that one location, and when we got there that first day, they said, "How many preachers do we have?" And so there were only like 3 or 4 of us, I think, total, because Chad and several of them that didn't preach. So basically they said, look, we're going to send you into our villages.
Mm-hmm.
So we go over there, get in the car with these guys, and you think I drive bad. See, they're running kilometers or what? They're not running mile per hour.
Right.
So they're running down the road, just wide open. And I'm like, he said, is this okay? Is this okay? I said, yeah, it's good. Keep it up.
Hammer down.
So 25 miles out in the middle of nowhere, man. And you come up on this little building that might be a little bit bigger than this office right here. And it would be so packed full of people, man, just in there hungry for the gospel.
Now, is that all just one family living in there?
No,
families?
I mean, you had the whole village. So once you got to the village, then and once they heard you were coming, man, it was like.
So that one building was kind of like, I guess, the church.
Yeah, the church building, but they're they're not
building.
20 by 20,
right?
30 by 30, something like that.
We would go out into those villages every day.
Wow!
And then when we got back to the airport, there was a guy that worked the oil rigs there. He said, man, we don't go nowhere over there without an armed guard. And we would just jump in the car with these guys and take off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of those villages like that have a king.
Okay.
He's king over that village. And every village that we went to, man, we would meet the king, the queen, and stuff like that. I mean, it was such an honor for us to be there.
Right.
And a lot of those places, I remember one time, this was in Nigeria as well. I go over there, and we go into Lagos, Nigeria, which is the capital, and millions of people. Well, we go. The pastor I'm with, he pastors in New York, but he's from there. Well, his brother is the king of this, place. So as we're driving,
John Uga.
Yeah, as we're driving, he tells me, he says, now, most of these people have never seen a white man.
Okay.
He said, we haven't seen, a white man in our village since we got free, which was, in the 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
And he said, so they're probably going to, I don't know how they'll respond to you as far as they're going to want to touch you and they're going to, stuff like that. We pull into this village. They've got the roads lined because they've been promoting, that we're coming.
Right, yeah.
They have the roads are lined with people and kids celebrating in bands, people playing trumpets and all this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because a white man is coming to preach Jesus. They ain't never seen a white man. And I'll be preaching or even during the singing portion and, people are praising God and you look over and all the kids, boy, they just looking at you.
Yeah.
In
amazement,
so I go sit down right
It's
in the
crazy.
middle of it. And I just tell those kids, come over here.
Yeah.
Man, they won't feel my hair.
Right.
They just running their fingers through my hair. They want to feel my face. And I'm just letting them, just to the best of my ability. I just figured that's what Jesus would do.
Right.
Not that he was white like me, but,
I know what you're
that's
saying.
what he would do. Just
Right.
want them to touch him and stuff like that. Got home that night and took a shower. And I got my head down and washing my hair. Man, you wouldn't believe the dirt
from
them just running their hands all over my hair,
all
my
that
face,
dust over there too, man.
and
It's
all
a
that kind of
dusty
stuff.
climate.
Yeah.
But I used to go back before COVID hit. I was at this one village. This was in Kenya, and I went there 9 years straight. I did their conference, their main conference every year. And you went with me there.
Well, 1 year, yeah.
Yeah, to Kenya. And, man, just the honor and the respect and the hunger in these places, is something you really
remember when we were
don't
driving
see.
down the road and there was this cop standing on the side of the road, full armor, full AK, standing there on the side of the road. Here we are. We done passed the daggone car that was in front of us.
Okay.
So we're boogalooing down through there, and this cop steps out in the road, and he points.
To y'all.
To us.
Like signaling and pull over.
Yeah, pull over.
Oh, no.
So we pull over. Well, the guy that we passed, he thought that the cop was going to get him for something or what. Anyway, they're just chewing one another out.
The cop and the one guy?
No, the two drivers.
Oh, okay.
So here comes this guy, Jamie, Big Jamie, standing right there, or sitting in the passenger seat. He walks up there and he looks at him and he says, "Will you pray for me?"
And y'all were thinking something the worst.
He seen white missionaries coming down the road, and that man wanted prayer and
pulled us over.
That was the military guy.
The military guy,
Okay.
yeah. We laid hands on him right there on the side of the road in the name of Jesus, man. I'm telling you, it was a powerful moment. It really was, man.
Yeah, that is.
We pull out of the church one evening, and you got to understand they don't have they butcher their animals just right there.
Right.
No refrigeration.
No refrigeration or anything like that, and then they hang them up. So you'll be going by the grocery stores, little buildings,
Yeah.
and you look in there and you see back straps hanging and quarters, front shoulders hanging, stuff like that. Wesley's like, "Look at there, winder meat." You remember that?
Winder meat. Good.
What about that smoked goat head that was on that daggone spool, one of them old electrical spools? They had a smoked goat head that still had the horns on that joker sitting there. Yeah, it was black as soot sitting right there, and they done smoked it and put it out there. But what they do, because of the refrigeration, and that's why we couldn't eat beef over there. Mm-hmm. They said that they can't get the temperature hot enough to kill the bacteria.
Oh, okay.
So basically, it's all this wood fire stuff that they're in there cooking on.
Right.
But I never will forget. We were over there, and the guy brought us some food out there. Now you might get your food, and I might not get my food. He might get his food, and I might not
get yours 30 minutes after I get mine.
So you just don't know. You go in there and sit down and order, and it's kind of like, am I going to get something to eat or not?
No, why
but
is that?
anyway, it's just the way that they roll over there. I mean, it's like they don't, the way they take orders or whatever. But Robin Martin was sitting there, and this dude brought a piece of chicken out there. And he picks that piece of chicken up off that plate, and he looks at it. And I'm a chicken leg, it wasn't no bigger around than that. They done run that poor chicken to death before they killed it. He rears back and he hits the table with that thing, and he looks at that guy and he says, "You expect me to eat that?" He said, "What other way y'all do chicken?" He said, "Well, we can boil you some."
And then he got up and walked in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Pastor Robin,
and the chicken's in there,
and then all of a sudden you see a chicken run out.
Chicken said, "Not today."
As we ordered chicken, they would take and kill that daggone chicken and bring that thing in there.
Right, cook it.
And cook it.
Yeah, well, that's fresh. Yeah.
But the crazy thing is you could be in there in the shower. They had a bucket in the shower. So when you first got in there, the thing you do is you fill the bucket up.
All right.
I didn't know that.
So
I'm in there all soaked up, and the next thing you know, I ain't got a drop of water.
Yeah,
I'm like, so what happened to the water? Well, they all out there washing their daggone cars. So the gravity-fed water tanks that was furnishing the building, when they start cutting them on outside, all of a sudden the thing would start trickling.
Yeah.
So basically, you learned when you got in there, you filled your bucket up first.
Make sure
then you lather up, and then you take a cup and rinse yourself if you needed to.
There's a lot of things you can learn if you get out of America.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, which I
which
never
is
have.
most of the world.
Oh man,
doesn't live like we live.
Bro,
and then you take Rojo with you, and it just makes everything better. Yeah. But you never know what you're gonna get into.
We rolled into Nigeria at 2 o'clock in the morning. They were 500 people at the airport
waiting on you.
Begging,
not us, just begging for money.
Begging.
Okay. Wow.
And I'm like, and one thing that hit me when I got there, the stench of smoke. Really? It was so strong that my daggone nose was burning.
Just because they're just always got fires burning?
They's fires burning. They got all kind of trash.
You got to think, that's how they
let trash
that's
on
how
fire.
they cook. That's how they heat. That's how they get rid of trash.
Right.
You know, in the city, everything is. I don't know how in the world we got off on this. We're supposed to be talking about outdoors and stuff. That's being with Wesley. Ain't no telling what you're going to get
it's
into.
Still outdoors and still ministry, and it's and probably maybe somebody like myself that hasn't been on the mission field or left the country, kind of got a little education today on that, like I did, just sitting here.
Well, the thing of it is, if you've never been, you need to go.
Yeah.
Because then you learn to appreciate what we have even more.
Yeah,
honestly, I always said that I'd love for my kids, every one of them, to go on a mission trip just to experience how other people live in other cultures.
Well, it's most of the world.
Idea.
That's what we don't understand.
Yeah, most of the world.
The majority of the world does not live like we live with the comforts we live.
Yeah, right.
And it's really, that's my point earlier, is the hunger.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you're preaching here, you got to convince people that God is better than their job.
Yeah, you're right.
God's better than their, $700,000 home. God's better than their Lexus.
Yeah. You
get what I'm saying? God's better than the almighty dollar. Because that's what we put our trust in. We put our trust in those things, and we're so motivated to make money, to outdo everybody, drive better cars, wear better clothes, all this kind of stuff. And most people, that's all they know.
Yeah.
When most of the world, the guy goes out hoping he can bring a chicken and a couple of potatoes home to his wife and kids.
To get one meal.
Yeah, make it through that particular day.
Yeah. And so they understand living by faith.
Right.
So you don't have to preach faith overseas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they know what it's like to depend on God.
Right.
They know what it's like to be hopeless. I never forget, we were in Kenya one year, and this lady sang, and Pastor Gary Stone was with me. And he got up, and Pastor Gary grew up pretty poor from his own testimony. He grew up pretty rough. and it talked about they didn't have a bed. They had a
pallet.
They just had they'd throw a mattress on the floor, or make a pallet on the floor. And she gets up later and closes out with a song, and she told the people, not in a negative way, but she said Americans don't understand poor, because when they think poor, they think of putting a pallet on a concrete slab. But our poor is you laying down on the dirt of the ground,
right,
and sleeping.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different. Right. It's a whole different mindset and stuff like that. And I agree with you. And even doing this podcast, I mean, we got the microphones, we got the lights, we've got all that stuff, because just to get people to listen to what we got to say, you got to have all this technology. Right. You got to have all this stuff. Over there, you don't even need a megaphone. You just walk down the street and start telling them about a God that loves them. And,
open the scriptures and start reading, and man, they just come hungry.
Well, I was thinking back as you was talking right then, Pastor, about how y'all were describing the family that was on the motor scooter. Just 6 of them, a family,
just to get somewhere,
just to get there. And of course, I've heard stories, from others, and seen things, on TV that, kind of how y'all were describing that. These people may have traveled hundreds of miles. Some, and how you were mentioning earlier, sometimes, somebody might not even drive 5 minutes to church. But the whole thing about me talking about the moped, and it got to my mind, was imagine, one, how far they traveled to get there. But secondly, how uncomfortable that was to make that journey, but and that's my whole point, is how comfortable we are, with all the things that we have. And we get sometimes very uncomfortable if somebody might be sitting in their chair at church that we've sat in, we
complaining that it's too hot.
Yeah, complaining that
hot,
it's too
cold.
Right.
Bench is too hard.
Yeah, right. But that's kind of what that was sticking with me, as y'all were describing, especially that family on the moped, is how uncomfortable that we would think that was. Right. And
I'm going to tell you, we look at it and go, oh my God, there's a family of 6 on a moped.
Right.
Listen, having a daggum moped, they're middle-class family.
Right. Riding a bicycle.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Middle-class family. It's, and we could go on and on all day about that kind of stuff.
I was thinking about that little boy down there in Salvador. He was so dirty. He looked like a dirt ball.
Right.
Just filthy from head to toe.
And only
had
down
on there,
underwear.
The wind was blow, and I'm telling you, sweat, and you just be covered in dirt.
Yeah.
But this little kid, I sat there and watched him. He was riding with his buddy on the bicycle, holding on to his shoulders, and he was barefooted, standing on the axle bolts that come out of the side of the back of the bicycle.
On dirt roads.
Now, David took a daggone washcloth, or dipped it in some, a cloth and dipped it in some water. And he told that little kid, he said, come here. That kid come over and Dave took that rag and washcloth trying to wash that kid.
Well, he wore the same pair of white underwear every day. Now, you're talking about not a baby.
Okay.
This was a 6-7-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was so poor that he wore the same pair of white underwear every day. That's it.
Oh, they wasn't white.
No, well,
right, but
no shirt, no shoes,
no nothing.
Nothing. I went back last year to El Salvador 2 years ago, and I asked about that boy. And do you know that he ended up in a gang and got shot and killed?
Wow.
At like 19 years old.
Wow.
And, you just never know the lives that you impact and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, everybody should go overseas, go on a mission trip, and you'll see the power of the gospel. you'll see that the miracles and gifts of God are still in operation today because you see it.
Amen.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen it with my own eyes,
Yes.
not, you know, not just a few times,
No.
but just miracles and signs and wonders. So you don't have that debate. You know, you see that kind of stuff. But, well, I know this is a hunting show, fish show outdoors, but it's all about Jesus.
Yeah,
And
amen.
everything outdoors is what
Yeah,
we say. And
amen.
we end up talking about the mission field, which is great. And that's what this podcast is about, just
Right.
having people on and conversating and letting people hear. And, you know, Pastor Cody and I were talking earlier how every episode, it's like God will just step in and bring his word. Because, you know, as we're preparing for the episode, we don't talk about a theme or anything. We
Right,
don't say, here's
right.
what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, yeah.
I just say, I'll do the opening and I'll throw it to you.
Right.
But I do that because I know that the Lord has something to say to everybody out there, and that he'll say it. And that's why I have guys like you here that, you know, we can just talk about it, and we'll have you again. You know, I'm sure we're probably well over an hour, and we could go on for hours.
Yeah, it really
you
don't
know?
feel like it. Yeah,
But
yeah,
thank
it's
y'all
been-
for
been
coming
fantastic.
and sharing, and we'll have you again.
Yes, absolutely.
And thank you for watching, tuning in to Faith in the Field, where it's all about Jesus and everything outdoors. Don't forget to subscribe. If you've already subscribed, hit the like button. And until we see you again, we just pray the peace of God to be upon you. And maybe we've said something today that has triggered something in you to say, man, I'd like to know this God that they're talking about, this Jesus. I would encourage you. It's the best decision you'll ever make in your life.
Amen.
To love Jesus, accept him as your Lord and Savior, confess with your mouth, believe in your heart that Jesus Christ is Lord. Give him your life. Be the best decision you ever make. And so I look forward to seeing you again on Faith in the Field. Thank you so much for being with us.